Today's episode is a deeply personal one. We're talking about the silence that came before the advocacy, the kind many of us were taught to sit in, the kind that felt like politeness, like being a, quote, good girl, like not rocking the boat, the kind that told us to smile through the pain, not ask too many questions, and definitely not challenge the experts in the room. But here's the truth. Before advocacy came silence. And unlearning that silence is one of the hardest and most powerful things we can do. Today, we're diving deep into the history of autism advocacy, the role mothers have played in speaking up, and how you reclaim your voice, not just for your child, but for yourself. Welcome to the Be Mighty Mom podcast. I'm your host, Ash, mom to an autistic child with a rare disease, boundary setter, and your voice of fierce, honest truth. This isn't just support, it's a movement where we ditch the fluff, get honest about autism and rare disease, and what it really takes to advocate for our kids, especially with family. Let's start with where we were. Before the neurodiversity movement, before social media, before parents had IEP binders and Instagram reels and GoFundMe campaigns, there was nothing. There was only silence. In the 1940s and 50s, autism was poorly understood. Children who displayed traits now recognized as autistic were often labeled with childhood schizophrenia. Psychologists like Bruno Bettelheim claimed autism was caused by cold, unloving mothers, what he referred to as refrigerator mothers. So imagine being a mom back then. Your child is struggling, not meeting milestones, maybe not even speaking, and you're told it's your fault. No resources, no therapies, just blame. Mothers were silenced by shame, and for many, that silence lasted decades. It was common, expected even, for children with disabilities to be institutionalized. The state stepped in, the child disappeared behind locked doors, and the family carried on in grief and guilt. Speaking up wasn't encouraged. It was dangerous. It was disruptive. It was shameful. This is the legacy we inherited. But some moms didn't stay quiet. Let's talk about the women who stood up when standing up could cost them everything. First one, Clara Claiborne Park. In 1967, she published The Siege, a memoir about raising her autistic daughter, Jessie. At the time, when almost no one was writing publicly about autism from a parental perspective, Clara wrote with compassion, intelligence, and fierce honesty. She paved the way for other mothers to share their stories, not from a place of pity, but from a place of presence, from a place of love. The second is Ruth Sullivan, one of the founding members of the Autism Society of America in 1965. Her son Joseph was autistic, and when doctors offered her no answers, she built her own path. She pushed for educational rights, research funding, and visibility. Without Ruth and other mothers like her, the word autism might still be buried in outdated medical texts. Third, Judy Heumann. Though not specific to autism, Judy's work as a disability rights advocate helped shape the environment we now operate in. She helped lead the 504 sit-in, fought for the Individuals with Disability Education Act, and helped make the ADA a reality. These women, some in our lifetime, showed us what's possible when moms refuse to stay silent. Even today, many moms feel stuck in silence. We're told not to complain, not to question doctors, not to demand too much from schools. We're labeled difficult or hysterical when we push back. We're taught that advocating for our child's needs is somehow inconvenient, that we should be grateful for crumbs, that anything beyond basic access is too much to ask for. That kind of silence, it's generational. Many of us grew up in homes where speaking up led to punishment. Where questioning authority was disrespectful, where keeping the peace meant keeping quiet. So when we become parents, especially to disabled or autistic kids, it's like we're handed this enormous responsibility without ever having been taught how to speak. Understanding the roots of your silence gives you power over it. Step 2, start small. Speaking up doesn't always look like marching or confronting. It might look like saying no to a play date that will overwhelm your child, correcting a relative who says your child is just being bad or uses the R word, asking for a different nurse at the ER when you feel dismissed. Step 3, use scripts. If speaking up feels scary, you can use prepared phrases. For example, we're doing what works best for our child, and I'd appreciate your support. I'm not comfortable with that approach. Here's why. I hear your opinion, but I have different information I'm choosing to trust. And number 4, practice self-compassion. You will not get it perfect. You will cry in meetings. You will freeze sometimes. You will get home and think of what you should have said. That's okay. That's not failure. That's unlearning. This episode is brought to you by Fidget Tee, the original sensory-friendly shirt with built-in fidgets that actually look cool. Perfect for kids who need to stim discreetly or just want something fun and functional to wear. My son absolutely loves his, and yours might too. Get 20% off your purchase with the code MAXIMUS at fidgettee.com. That's capital MAXIMUS for 20% off. Because sensory support should always be easy. Let's be honest. Sometimes we advocate so hard, we lose ourselves. It becomes our full-time job, fighting for services, navigating insurance, researching therapies, attending appointments, correcting family members, managing meltdowns, and being the educator, nurse, case manager, cheerleader all at once. We become that mom. And while that can be powerful and it has its place, it is exhausting. So here's your permission slip. You are more than your advocacy. You are more than the school calls and the therapy notes and the diagnosis. You are still you. And you deserve to speak up, not just for your child, but for your own needs, for your own boundaries, your own mental health. Before advocacy, there was silence. And for many of us, the silence is still lingering. But every time we speak up, even shakily, we crack the shell of that silence. Every time we advocate for our children, we're also healing the little version of ourselves who weren't allowed to speak. So today, I want to thank the moms who came before us, the ones who risked everything to say, my child matters. And I want to thank you for being here, for learning, for unlearning, for daring to believe that your voice is worth hearing.